welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is my third video that I am making. My last previous videos, what?
Stop it. Get some help.
My previous videos was a speed draw of my Procreate pieces and also my first video that's introducing myself. But today's video is going to be about me showing you my process on how I make a Procreate portrait on my iPad Pro. This is a 12.9 inch iPad Pro and it's a 2020 model. So I'm going to show you guys how I make my portraits on here. Before I show you the full process, I'm going to show you guys a few tips and tricks on Procreate before I get into the tutorial.
A few moments later.
Alright everyone, so I'm going to go ahead and show you a couple things first. So here we got all of our brushes and we got our blending brushes here. So I'm going to show you the brushes that I personally use for when I am sketching, coloring, etc. So my sketch brush, I use a sketch brush by Hazel Long. And I'll link her in a bio. I use her sketch update brush and I use that brush to, I'm just going to draw like, the brush is too big. No, it's too small. But what I really like about this brush is that it's very active to touch. So if you press really, really hard, it goes bigger. And you guys very light, it goes lighter. So that's what I really like about this brush. Let me just try to draw like that. This is the brush that I use for sketching. Now, for the brush that I use for color, I also use Hazel Long's portrait pack, and I use, actually, sometimes I use that, but mainly I just use this soft brush for coloring. As you can see, it's very soft, so it blends pretty easily. And I'm going to show you guys like how I blend. So first off, I put down one color. So you want to blend these two colors together. So then what I like to do is I like to get a color kind of in between those two and put that in the middle. And then the brush that I use, I downloaded this from another person as well. I honestly cannot remember who I downloaded these brushes from, but I've used this brush right here. When I figure it out, I'll link it below. But I use this brush, and I always make the size of the brush the size of my I always like the size of the blending brush the size of my coloring brush. So I just lightly go over it. And as you can see, some of the white from the outer parts get in there, so I like to turn on my alpha lock, so that way the outer parts of the white won't get in there and it will just blend what is put down on the canvas. So that way, as you see, and then the white from the outside is blending in. So I lightly just do that. And now it's pretty much blended. So those are all the tips that I have for you guys today. So I'm gonna just go ahead and do a voiceover on one of my portrait videos, and I'll show you how I do that.
One eternity later.
Alright you guys, so this is the picture that I drew. I drew this a couple of days ago. I'm gonna show you how I drew this. So first I take a red pencil, like a red sketch brush, and sketch a light sketch, and then I do the same thing with a blue sketch brush right on top of that on a separate layer. I'm just gonna wait until I finish that because I'm voiceovering it. Then I take the picture that I use as a reference to kind of match it up to kind of help me learn. I do this personally to help me learn how to, get everything, like the proportions correct. Then I take a black brush with my sketch brush and I go over my blue marker and I do that. Then I go into like a gray scale, so I paint the background gray, and then I basically do the whole picture, but just in black and white. And use the same blending techniques that I told you in the last video. And I personally think blending with gray is so much easier than blending with color. So that's personally what I use. Or that's personally like what I do. So I'm gonna go out and play some music for this part because it's gonna take me a little bit, and then I'll tell you the next go ahead and use the saturation brush by Haze Long, and I put in my main base color, and then I put in my highlights and my shadows, and I do the same thing in the hair. Then I go ahead and add some more shadows by using the multiply on another layer, and then after that I go ahead and do my eyes. I simply also do that on another layer. And I use all the same brushes, just a soft brush. And sometimes I'll copy and paste the eyes if I feel too lazy. I also color in the black layer and a brown, so that way it kind of blends in with the rest of it. Then I go around the eyes and add some more details on another layer, and do the same thing with the nose. I keep turning on and off the sketch layer to make sure it matches up. Then I do my lips. I do my lips on multiple layers because I want to make sure it blends well together. I always add outlines, highlights with the add, multiply, blending mode, and I blend that out, and I just keep doing it over and over again until it looks good. At this point, I'm drawing all my lashes, but I also have a lash brush that I use very often. As you can tell later on in the video, I won't like how my lashes look, so I will eventually use a lash brush. But you can draw on your lash brushes. You can draw on your lashes if you want to. I'm also using that same brush to do my eyebrows. Yeah, as you can see, like I did not like how the lashes looked at all, so I was like, I'm just gonna go ahead and use a lash brush because I felt like it looks way better. Added on more to the lips, kind of adding more details. I add some glitter on the eyes, and I like to use purple for shadows as well. So I use purple, and then I turn the blending mode and Gaussian blur out. I do the same thing with brown and orange for highlights and more shadows. I often do this with different colors. Then I take blue for some minor highlights in the eyes and on the nose and the lips, and I put that on an add blending mode, and then I'm Gaussian blur it out. And as you see, I'm adding blue in the hair, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to blend it out. I'm going to duplicate it and add it back on top, but right now I'm just kind of adding hair right over that, so that way it won't just be kind of sticking out like that. You don't want to see those highlights too much, but you want to know that they're there, so that's why I'm adding more hair right on top of the highlights. As you can see, I duplicate the highlight layer and I add it back on top. Then I go ahead and color the clothing and use my blending techniques. And then I add the necklace using my sketch brushes. And then I change the background. Well, I add some more shadows, and then I change my background. I decided to do kind of like this cloud-like background.
Alright, you guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please click like and subscribe, and let me know what I should do next.